Hi there, family and friends. I'm Steve Klein, and welcome to Images in Motion, where I teach you the skills of photo and video restoration from the comfort of your own computer or laptop, and I just may share a story or two along the way. We also talk about the current tools and cutting-edge techniques that you can use to enhance your photos and videos for years to come, either on your smartphone or other devices, so that you can share these wonderful, beautiful memories with your family and loved ones and leave a long-lasting legacy for years to come. So if you're interested in these things, consider subscribing to this channel and make sure you click on the notification bell to be alerted on any new videos that come up. All right, let's get into this. You know, love is made around the kitchen table, and what better way to share that love is with stories from yesteryear. I've got several photo albums out here, and as we go through and learn this together, we'll learn techniques and photo enhancement that will brighten your day and also leave a legacy for years to come. And I'll be sure to share the tools that I'm using and put a link in the description so that you can use the exact same tools and get pretty much the same results. Now today we're going to go into some of the enhancements of scenic beauty as found in nature. I'm going to open this up today, this photo album. Well, and how about this cover? Isn't this cool? It's got a lighthouse, and I believe I bought this in Oregon years ago, probably from Kmart. And we're going to go into some of these beach scenery pictures as well as some of the family photos. So let's get into this. All right, so we're here in my den, and we're going to get started on one of the photos that I used to take up in the beautiful Cascade Mountain Range in the Mount Hood National Forest. And it's this one right here. And as you can see, there was some glare here, which I had to take another photo of. And there's some techniques that I can show you about that later. But as you can see here, that right over here on this side, on the left side there, it's kind of glary. And so I took another photo, another scanned image of that. And so I also cropped the corners of it. As you can tell from here, I had this. This is the old magnetic photo album. Around, you can see the frame here, and then over here I got that glare out of there. So it's a lot better. Even with that glare, I could probably have gotten that out, but it just didn't. It was just going to be a little bit too much work. So without further ado, let's get into the Photoshop here and we'll get cracking. Okay, so now we have this in Photoshop, and you might notice right over here they have this tool right here called the spot healer brush, and I like to use this. If you notice on all around the edges, there is, see right here and here and down here. I attempted to crop it up as best as I can, but you can see right there's this white frame all around it. So what I want to do is I want to blend that in if I can, and just make it a little bit more better. Well, better. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to use a healing brush, and what this does is it'll take, basically, it looks at you see this part right on the edge here. If I paint this with the healing brush and just make sure that it overlaps a little bit with whatever's there, it blends in basically whatever is here algorithmically. And then just like if there's trees there, it'll make a little bit more of the trees there. Now, it may not be as accurate as it was to the original photo, but I don't really care at this point. Now, I'm just trying to get some filler in. So the same with way down here. I'm going to overlap just a hair so it can blend that in. And notice how it just kind of took the roots of this tree and brought it back down. It continued the green foliage there, even into the water here, which is pretty awesome. So I'm going to continue to do here. And I got a little bit high there. I don't like to go too much into it because it will start looking a little bit not as good. Let's see how, that didn't look too bad. I'll just keep that. Okay, now I'm clicking here and I'm dragging up again. I'm just going to drag up and feather that out. And that looks pretty natural as well. All right, now I'm also going to click and highlight this. There's a little bit of a white area up here, and I'm just going to let it blend in the forest. Now, I did go a little bit too far, if you noticed that. It didn't matter because it basically saw that the tree line was up here and it just continued on. So I think that's pretty awesome. So now what we want to do is we want to try and bring some of the color, because I took this photo and I remember there was a lot, this water was really blue. And in this camera, this 110 Pocket Instamatic Camera, you don't see the details as you would. And so we're having to deal with a few things. One of them is also that it's not sharpened. So I want to, before I even do any coloring, I want to see if I can sharpen it a little bit. So we're going to go up here to filters, sharpen, and we're going to do the smart sharpen. Okay. So this gives us a visual representation of what this is over here. I want to make sure that I'm going to use lens blur, because the blur that's being caused, or that's causing this, the blur that's in this photo rather, is lens caused. It's not a Gaussian blur. So I'm just going to use this. You can see this in real time. So if you can see this photo right here, I'm below a radius of 0.8, 0.9, 1.0. I wouldn't go too far. If you go too far, here's the extreme. You can see over here the whole image looks really almost like a cartoon. I would say on this one, it would probably be somewhere between 1 and 3. 1 is not as good as 3, so I'm going to do 3. And for the amount, we need to give it something. If you get it 1, here I'll show you the extremes. 1 or 462. 462 just looks, you start getting really pixelated. This shows too. It just doesn't look real anymore. It looks over processed. So we're going to back this down, and I'm going to say I want it somewhere between 100 and 150. That's what I recommend. Any more than that, it's going to look too overdone. Okay. So there we go. Now I don't even know if that even looked. Yeah, it does. We could go a little bit more. Oh, but see, now that I've sharpened it, it's going to start from where it was. So I don't know if I want to do that anyway. We could do a little bit more. Let's try that. Sharpen a little bit more. I don't know. I think that it's good enough for what we want to do. I don't really want to over sharpen it. So now what I want to do is I want to take the adjustment and I want to go into the color curve. And what this allows us to do is it brings up it enhances some of the output to where the colors and the RGBs were, and also you can actually bring some of the shadows and the contrast back up, all within this curves. I like it because you can instantly see the visual. So already you can see, now that I'm toning down, this arc shows you the brightness of this area in the spectrogram of this photo. So it's pretty cool. And I can go extreme to kind of show you the difference. So if I go up to if I grab this little, I create a little entry point there. If I go up, see how bright that got? I don't want it that bright. I'm trying to reduce the brightness. So I'm bringing it down. And as you can see already, we can see the blue starting to appear in this photo. Isn't that pretty cool? Okay, so I don't want it to get so dark. So I want to probably around this point here where there's a dip in the spectrogram. I want to bring this up a little bit. And what that's doing is it's bringing out the greens a little bit, and it's bringing in the light. So you can see right back here where this white area is. That's kind of what I'm wanting. That's what I'm going for. So, okay. So a lot of times it's just finessing with seeing how you might like the looks of it. This, if I bring it down, it's starting to look a little bit fake over here where this yellow is. You see that? So I'm going to undo that. That is a little bit better, actually. I like what I'm seeing here. if we just bring this up just a hair without, I'm trying to get it where it's not going to look too fake, but I bring out this yellow and these greens here. If you notice when I did that, it made these rocks over here look really pixelated. So I'm trying to undo that. You see, redo, undo. You can see the trees even looked funny when I did that. Yeah, that doesn't look good at all. All right, so bringing it down right about there. I'm kind of liking the look of that. That looks a lot better. And the only other thing I think I would love to do here right now is you have these auto color adjustments. That right there seemed to do something. Let's do that again. So I did the auto contrast, doesn't do anything. Auto color though, it did take down that yellow saturation and brought the blue out a little bit. So I'm going to do that. But finally, what I want to do is I want to take this adjustment and I want to get the saturation out and the vibrancy. So I'm going to use vibrancy. So if I do the saturation, you can see that brings out the yellows almost to a cartoon like. So we don't want to do that. But the vibrancy, let's see if we can adjust that a little bit. So vibrancy brings out the colors. I mean, that's just extreme there. But the blues in that water is what I remember it about, like that. The problem though is that now we've got the yellows a little bit higher. And if I take down the saturation, we're going to lose that. So it might be a combination of finessing. This is kind of what you have to do with these photos, these old photos, is you have to kind of finesse them. That's what you have to do with these photos. It's just you have to finesse them a little bit. So we're going to go over here and let's see. Okay, so I'm kind of liking the look of that, even though it did bring out these a little bit more yellower than I wanted to. It's got the river a lot more bluer than I remembered, or than I. It's how I remembered. It's the blue saturation. I could bring up the blues in here. If I do that, you can see now it's even getting the shadows blue, and it's just getting too many things saturated blue, and that's not good either. I can bring the blue hue up, but that risks making it look bad as well. Okay, so now what I'm doing here is that this dropper, I don't know if you noticed what I did. I basically added this dropper as the blue that I'm looking to enhance. It brought the slider down to this area here, which is emphasizing the blue. And so what we're doing is we're changing the saturation up just a hair. And as I do that, you notice that, I mean, if I do it at the extreme, you can see that goes way over here. This color palette over here, the swatch goes way over to the right. And then you start getting the forest blue, and you don't want the forest blue unless they're putting out a fire or something. You know, they have that retardant, or I think that's red. Anyway, so the hue though is where, now that we've put it into this area, as you notice, if I'm going down, it's going light blue. If I'm going up, it's kind of going to a purpley dark blue. So I want to find the sweet spot, and I think it's right there. That is too purple. That is another color. All right. So that might be as good as we're going to get it. Let me undo it and then redo it. Undo, redo. It's a little bit bluer. I almost like the original. I don't know, what do you think? Do you like the original, or do you like this sort of hue? So if I redo the hue, undo the hue, redo the hue, undo the hue, redo. I don't know. I'm a little bit on the fence about this. So what I'm gonna do is I'm going to just continue on, and I want to see if I can go into the vibrancy once again and see if bringing this up changes the river's oh, and I must have undid the hue, so let me go put that back on. So now I'm going to select the blues. I am going to, it's just a little bit bluer, so I think that's okay. I think we're going to stop with that, and let's take a look, and let's just save this as, let's export this as a, I'm going to export it not as a PNG file but as a JPEG, and I'm going to keep it, yeah, I'll keep the whole highest resolution, and we're going to put it in here. I'm going to say this is edited. All right. Okay, now let's take a look at the final product. Okay, this is the original, and this is the enhanced. Wow. Wow, that's pretty cool, right? So this is the original again, and this is the enhanced. Yes, I love it. This is pretty awesome. And you notice that I got rid of all the white corners around the edges. We brought back the blue. We took a lot of the glare out. We enhanced the vegetation around it. We reduced this. So I'm gonna, if I put this side by side so you can see it. So the one on the left is the original. The one on the right is the enhanced. And wow, what a difference. That's awesome. And this water this is how it looked, and it is just gorgeous. So this is something that you can do on your own with Photoshop. It was pretty easy, as you can tell. I only did a few clicks of the mouse, and within 5 to 10 minutes I had this photo looking amazing. And you could do this too. I would go out and I'll put a link in the description notes for Photoshop, Adobe Photoshop. There's other tools you can use out there. You can use just even Photos, which is on your Windows 10 machine, or if you have a Mac, there's a MacBook Pro, or even a Mac, just a regular Mac. There's software out there you can do it with that as well. And a lot of them have different names for things. Usually it's the same, but the Photoshop does have the best tools in my opinion, and it makes things a lot easier, as you could tell. Now I'm going to go in and enhance other photos, and I'm going to share with you some more scenic photos. And if you're interested in those, just stay tuned. And if you found value out of this video, hit the like and subscribe, and let me know in the comments section if you had a 110 pocket camera or any old camera that you took photos with and would love to enhance those photos. I'd love to hear about them, and I love hearing stories like this as well. The story behind this photo, by the way, is we used to go up to Estacada quite a bit in the Cascade Mountain Range to go wood cutting and just go to picnicking. And this is one of the just beautiful areas that I remember in the Clackamas River seeing. And you can see this as you're going up some of the old freeways. I haven't been there in a number of years, but it just brings back memories, you know. But anyway, that's about it for this episode. If you liked it, hit the like and subscribe. And if you're interested in some more, stay tuned. We're going to have some more scenic enhancement photos, even some that we're going to use AI for. And I'm really excited about that. All right, take care.